So I believe we have some unfinished business to attend to when it comes to Wynncraft, and that is that I'm back! I literally just got back and I'm already encountered by a CIB Guardian. Can I please get a break for 5 seconds without having to deal with one of you? Anyway, despite the fact that Fallen Factory is rated extreme, it is not extreme at all unless they mean the time it takes for you to complete the dungeon, in which case they are correct. Anyway, in this first room, all these guys do is walk straight towards you, so the only way you can somehow get hit is if you're just blind. Once you kill 24 of them, or if you get lucky, less, because sometimes they will drop double, you then get this tower to spawn, and you used to be able to start climbing the tower before it was finished. But too many archers, like myself, were just escaping up the tower before it was even done, so yeah, now we have that. Next up, we go to the conveyor belt, and I like to call the conveyor belt the if you have a bad computer, your game will literally crash. I know that's a mouthful for just calling something a conveyor belt, but it seems pretty fitting. For the hammer part, I originally despised this with a burning passion, and then I realized you can just walk on the edge like this and avoid every single thing trying to attack you. Now you get launched over here to this fire dome, and sometimes you'll actually land in the fire dome before it even closes. In that case, you'll usually have to slash class or just wait till it opens again, but either way, it is not a soft lock, which is good to know. Next up, we have these guys who use everybody's favorite spell, aka Flamethrower. And you only have to kill 4 of these because they are much tankier, as Antikythera says, than the others. But since they can still be obliterated in 5 nanoseconds, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Anyway, since I'm an archer, I get to meme on all of you, outside of if maybe you're a mage, when you're trying to do this parkour. Because escape is still the best movement spell in the game, and you can't change my mind. But for the most part, the parkour itself is actually really inventive, except when the elevator decides it's going to pull a no you, and you fall through the literal floor. When that happens, you might as well just get up and go do something else because the game just hates you that much. When you get up to the 3rd floor, there's 2 paths you can really take, which is this way and that way. But I'm just gonna go this way because 90% of the time when I try to go the other way, I end up bonking my head on the ceiling or something and falling back down and going back to where I was when I first entered this floor. But the other way is faster if you're not just a buffoon like me. This jump expects you, for some reason, to time it where you'll actually ride the gear itself. But apparently the game forgot you have a movement spell, and therefore you use it. Antikythera tells you to jump off a bridge because there's more important people than you, which is actually very true. Also, this room is the most useless room in all of Fallen Factory. If there was one room I was going to delete, it would be this room. All you do here is kill this random siege engine thing that has no purpose outside of being a boss. And by boss, I mean a minion who has slightly more health and damage than everything else around him. But there's already 2 mini-bosses in the boss to begin with. So I really do not understand the purpose of this room. I think I could make an entire video essay on why Winston is by far the hardest boss in Wynncraft, but to, keep this video moving along, I'm just gonna do that and move on with my life. When you use the 12 scrap on this doorway here, you then open this random door, and I think that's actually what was giving me the most trouble the first time I did this. I already killed the first mini-boss without even talking because I forgot Aerostorm exists. But basically, he's a ranged dude with thunder weakness, so abuse that into oblivion. He's got around 50,000 health, I believe, which means he's really not that much different from the siege engine you fought earlier. Also, these things, not sure why they're here, they do basically nothing. And why are you here? Leave me alone. The next mini-boss has, again, Flamethrower, but, you know, at the end of the day, he's basically the Siege Engine, except he uses Flamethrower. He has Air Weakness, which means I'm legally allowed to use Return to Ether every time I do this dungeon and abuse that. But once you get 16 scrap and build this, you're gonna need 6 cores as well, so it's better to just, you know, get both ahead of time. And then you use both of these passes on the doors. There's a TP if you need to go back because you were a buffoon and forgot to get one. But now you go fight the real Antikythera, aka a very fast boy. Antikythera has a heal bot AI, which means when his minions spawn in, he'll move towards them. And trust me, that is definitely something you do not want, because when that happens, he becomes Sanic and starts speeding around the arena, and you have no clue where he's going at all. Okay, well anyway, yeah, he's really not that hard. He has thunder and water defense, but he does have fire weakness. So weapons like Judas, for example, will still be able to solo the boss just because he has that fire weakness. Anyway, this is the longest dungeon after all, so it would make sense that it would have at least good rewards, right? And you are in fact correct for believing that. Anti-static is very good for earth builds that need to patch up their thunder defense a bit. Usually when you're using earth water and using items such as Moonpool Circlet and such. Discharge is a very glassy thunder chest piece, but when used in a build, it makes your damage skyrocket. I'd honestly argue Sign is one of the best pair of boots in the game at the moment, since when used with either a thunder or water build, it is actually insane due to the boosts of both intel, dex, damage, you name it. I didn't even mention the Mana Seal. What am I doing? Compiler's one of the best melee options outside of Gaia on Mage, so you really can't go wrong with that if you want to use melee Mage, which in my opinion is a very underrated playstyle. Packet's probably the worst option you could get from Fallen Factory. Its low SP requirement makes it a very nice secondary, but unless they buffed Packet and I just don't remember it, its damage is pretty subpar. Although the exploding is pretty nice for grinding, I will admit. Heat Sink's nice for fire melee builds, and that's basically it. I mean, it gives you fire damage, lifesteal, defense, agility, all that stuff. Also, I hear you up there. Could you stop shooting at me? I'm just trying to do something over here. Thank you. Wick is an alright choice if you want to go Thunder Warrior. Sawtooth, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated weapons as Assassin, but super fast attack speed with rainbow damage is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because you can abuse weakness extremely easily and well, but it's also a curse because if you go up against anything with elemental defense, you're gonna get destroyed. Although if you stack raw spell with it, it'll mostly be fine. I really don't like using byte that much because, if I'm being honest, elemental defense for the most part, outside of like snipers and wars and such, really does not matter. Unless you have like negative 500 or something and 2 or more elemental defenses. Megabyte's fine though, since it's just a slap of damage. And Gigabyte is basically Diamond Fusion Necklace if you are too lazy to meet the requirement. You can also get the tier 11 tools there, which is nice if you want to melt your brain from grinding, I guess. But anyway, there you go. 100% not accurate review of Fallen Factory. Before I end this video, I need to go say hi to somebody real quick because I haven't talked to them in a while. Bill, look, I'm sorry they gave you Suicide Strike, alright? But at the end of the day, you still exist, so that's what matters. Please join the trend today to remove Suicide Strike from Bill. Thanks. Okay, bye. Oh my god! I can't move in Carcass without one of you showing up! Okay, I'm gonna end this video before I actually have a seizure because of the CIB Guardian while I'm busy with my buddy Bill.